Hi, I'm Teresa Tapp, creator of the T-Tapp Total Workout, and this video is instructional tape 1, putting the body in alignment for optimal fat burning and inch loss. I'm so excited to be here in the Tiffany Ballroom at the prestigious Bellevue Biltmore Resort and Eclipse Spa, especially with my T-Tapp team. Why here? Because this is a great hotel. It was built in 1897 and it's home of the T-Tapp fitness resorts where everybody from all over the world has come in to do daily T-Tapp workouts and get those wonderful Eclipse Spa treatments. But I created the T-Tapp Total Workout to be the perfect at-home fitness program. So I asked my team to join in because it works for all ages and all fitness levels. And our team today, their ages range from 9 to 74. And there's beginners as well as seasoned T-Tappers who've been doing it for 2 years. But you'll meet the T-Tappers later afterwards. The other thing I want to point out, though, with our new team is because we're just getting ready to start to share T-Tapp with our hearing impaired and deaf people. And these individuals are my special friends because of Stacy. And you'll meet Stacy later, but you will see while we're doing the workout, Stacy with her interpreter, Carol. So I'd say let's get ready and learn about body types, because when I say all fitness levels and all age brackets, it also takes into account all body types. So let's go to that next before we start our workout. Okay, with body types, I created the T-Tapp Total Workout to work for all body types. But it does help to understand where you fit in regarding to what your target areas of concern and what's reality and what's just a little bit out of reach due to your basic personal profile body type. First of all, I'm going to talk about the short torso. Now this is Denise, and Denise is a short torso, long leg. What that I mean, obviously she's not tall, she's shorter than me, but she has a shorter body in relationship to the length of her leg. The first thing I talk about with personal profile is the distance between the rib to the hip. And she's going to put her finger on her last rib to her hip. And when you see the distance between there, we're looking at about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. So she is a short torso, actually in the longer version of a short torso, but when you look in comparison to that, the next factor is the knee to ankle. And as she stands, I'll kneel down to show her length of her knee to ankle in comparison to her knee and hip is equal. Now, if her rib to hip were a little shorter, the knee to ankle could be longer. But I have another video called Personal Profile Body Types to go in greater detail. This is just to give you the basics. Now, if you look at my body, I'm a long torso, short leg. And it's easy to see when you compare me directly with a short torso, long leg next to Denise. So by that I mean my last rib to my hip and standing right next to each other, you can see I have about 8 inches. And it only makes common sense that I have much more length of spine for my internal organs to be able to lay flat. So Denise has a target area of concern is always being the tummy. Always worried about the tummy. My stomach stays flat very easily. Now, the short leg comes into play on the knee to ankle. So if you look at my knee to ankle next to Denise's, and we will bend the knee so you can focus in, that with the kneecaps bent, we're equal, but when we stand up side by side, look how much taller I am, and that's because her knee to ankle is longer in proportion to her height, whereas if you look again at my knee to ankle in comparison to my knee to hip, look how much longer my knee to hip is. It almost looks disproportionate. But then that makes my target area of concern the outer thigh, the saddlebags as we call it. And so this is where it's real important in T-Tapp technique that you can instantaneously make saddlebags go away. Did you see that? Saddlebags go away. We'll go into that much more in the other video. A side view between the two of us is that the shorter the torso, the flatter the buns. The longer the torso, the round, much more of a bubble butt of the buns. So on the short torso, area of concern is gaining weight right above for being what I call hip pads, weight between the shoulder blades, and at the back of the neck because the shorter spine. I am easily able to keep a long, lean form without fat deposit between the neck. Okay, and as we face the front again, I'm going to go into combination body. Combination body, I'll have Kim move on over. Kim obviously is a true combo. How is that? Her rib to her hip, and she'll put her fingers to show, from last rib to hip, is about 4 inches. Now with that, that's longer than Denise, so she has more room to maintain a flat tummy, but it's not as long as mine, so her area of concern is not so bad of the outer thigh, but more so than Denise. Denise never gains on the outside thigh. She only gains on the inside of the thigh. Short torsos always worry about inner thigh. Combos worry about both. They gain a little bit on the outside, but more so, instead of just here, and we'll give them a side view, is I call it the third bun cheek. They get that outer right behind the bun cheek. And so their bun position is a little bit more rounded, but not as much as a long torso. Okay, back to the front. Looking at knee to ankle versus knee to hip, you can see that Kim is perfectly balanced. Combination bodies, a true combo, are equal from knee to hip and knee to the ankle. That's why in the fashion industry we always would look for combination body for overall fashion, long torso to use bikini low cut because of the flat stomach, and we always use the long torso, or excuse me, the short torso, long leg for mini skirts or real high cut fashion because the thigh stays outside smooth. But combination body, besides target areas of inner and outer thigh, also gets from the side back fat, right around that bra line area. So combos do have that perfect proportion, but they also have target areas of concern. Now I'm going to move over and have an introduction of another combo as we'll shift down. Now Margie here is also a combination body, but the length of her rib to hip, and she'll demonstrate, is about 5 inches. A little bit longer means she's a combo, borderline long torso. When I compare from her knee to her ankle, from her knee to her hip, it's a little bit shorter, so that means becoming a borderline long means she gains both outer, third bun cheek, inner thigh, and the tummy. Now, isn't that wonderful? You get all 3. But her waistline is a true combo. Now, I didn't talk about waistlines earlier, but so many of us compare as to being to the Barbie doll. Now, on the female form, you hear about waistlines being the ultimate 36, 26, 36. Well, that might work good if you're a long torso such as I. Now, doesn't it make common sense that the longer the distance on the spine, the more room you have to cinch in on a waist? Denise, as I bring her in, on a short torso, when you only have this much space between the rib to the hip, now how can you cinch in? So on a short torso, they're not going to have the really teeny tiny waist. And as I was in the fashion industry for so long, even at teenagers, most of the models with the short torso body will have a 28, if they're very thin, but more often a 29-inch waist. Combination bodies like Kim and Margie are usually in the range of the 26 or 25, and if they're petite like Kim, could be a 24, but usually it's 25. But if you're a long torso such as myself, we're the ones that can get that 18, yes, 18-inch waist. Now mine is only 24, but at 45 I'm very happy, and there's no way Denise will ever see 24 if even she starves herself. So I just wanted to point out, and I'll step in front, I just wanted to point out that this concludes an understanding of body types. Obviously, all of my T-tappers here are very fit, and they've worked on their target areas of concern with T-tap to minimize, so you don't have to work harder, you work smarter. The movements within the total workout will focus on that, even if you're a guy. So let me bring forth 2 guys to give a comparison. Now obviously, when I have Steve and Paul here, we're not talking Barbie dolls, now are we? However, with our male T-tappers, body type on a personal profile matters as well. Steve here next to me is a true combo. Now, through their nice, tight, form-fitting T-shirts, can you point to where your rib is and to where your hip so we can see? Last rib, top of the hip, see, about 4 inches. So, as a male, he's not going to have that 29-inch waist when you were a teenager. It would be more into the 32. Am I close right? See, I can't even say on that. And his length of his knee to his ankle, from his knee to his hip, are equal. So he also has not an outer thigh. Men don't get that, but he has more of a concern on his stomach, but not quite so much as Paul. Let's go to Paul. Now over here with Paul, who is my true short torso. Now show us through that nice t-shirt where that rib and hip is. Oh boy, you have to look because he's poking in. It's this much. That means as soon as he does any type of side bending, what happens? It's bone to bone. So there was no way when he was a little teenager at about 15 that he's going to have a 29-inch waist. Even if he were skin and bones, he would be lucky to have that 29, or excuse me, he would be lucky to have that 34, 33-inch waist. So his concerns are definitely going to be the stomach. Now his knee to ankle is longer, yes we have a knee in there, longer in comparison to his hip. And what happens with the short torso long leg is they end up with more knee injuries. Why? Because the knees roll in. And with the knees rolling in, there's more of a stomach to pooch and the back to arch. And as a male, it's very important as a high concern about knee injury. So if you're a short torso male, really concentrate on the T-Tapp technique of knee little toe throughout this workout. So with this concludes our personal profile in a very brief summary. Otherwise, tune into the personal profile body type video, and I'll go into much greater detail, including ethnic heritage differences. But let's get ready to work.